Hi YouTubers, I am JabeerIni and I'll show you today how to brew a beautiful beer at home. The beer we'll be brewing today is a smash. That stands for single malt and single hop. From the hop side we got Pacific Jade, and what's interesting about this variety is that it was developed by the New Zealand Institute for Plant and Food Research in 2004. So it's a relatively new hop variety and it was designed by scientists. It doesn't get any cooler than that. From the malt side we got Golden Promise. I have only used Golden Promise 2 times. One was with the cherry beer, which is now bottle conditioning, and the second time was with that double IPA. So even if I have obviously not tried them yet, at least the words were looking good. Now, why did I choose Pacific Jade and Golden Promise for a smash? Well, I can think of 2 main reasons. One is because I haven't tried Pacific Jade alone. I have tried beers that contain Pacific Jade and other hops, so it would be nice to give it a try alone. And the second reason is because I found out that in YouTube there are no videos at all of a smash using Pacific Jade and Golden Promise. In fact, there are no videos at all of a smash using Pacific Jade, so it'll be good to be the first. So I'd better hurry up, and without further ado, let's get brewing! And here we're in the kitchen, so let's get a home brew. Here we have it. Woo! A lot of smoke coming out of the bottle. This is a clone of the old speckled hen, which we brewed in episode 5. If you haven't seen it, click on the wee eye icon in the top right corner and you'll be redirected. Actually, as you'll see in that video, and if you have already seen, I am not quite satisfied with the closeness of this beer with regards to the old speckled hen, which is why I have named it the young speckled hen instead of clone of the old speckled hen. It is a nice beer. The thing is that it's just not as close as I wanted it to be. But in any case, you see, the worst case scenario, or almost the worst case scenario, is that you end up with a nice beer. Cheers! Let's go and see those ingredients. First, 5 liters of water in this container, which we'll be using as a fermenter. 700 grams of Golden Promise. 10 grams of Pacific Jade in several editions. We'll go through those details in a minute. 150 grams of brewing sugar. 1/4 tablet of protafloc. Half a pocket of yeast. I really wanted to use Mangrove Jacks for this one, but it wouldn't arrive on time. So I researched a little bit, and apparently this one is very good. So I decided to give it a try. And since I was there, I found this yeast nutrient and decided to give it a try as well. So let's get it on! So the first thing we're gonna do is to pour this water into our pot and get it to 63 degrees. Why 63 instead of the usual 65? Well, because apparently you can get a better conversion rate with that temperature. So again, let's give it a try. In the meantime, we're gonna measure our grains and hops. And here we have them. So let me walk you through my idea. This is Golden Promise, that's the easy part. We'll mash them for 60 minutes. And now we have our brewing sugar. Why did I decide to use this and not only grains? Well, it's because I want to obtain a golden ale. So if I lower the grain bill, but I want to keep at least a 5% ABV in my beer, I need to add more fermentables. And this is a very good and simple idea. Now the hops. It's gonna be 4 additions, but as you can see, we only have 3 glasses here. It's because a 4th one will be dry hopped. This is 3 grams for 60 minutes, 2 grams for 30 minutes, 3 grams for 5 minutes, and then 2 grams dry hopping for 5 days. And that's it. Our water is now at the desired temperature, so it's time to start the mash. We're gonna mash these grains for 60 minutes, after which I'll be back. See ya! Okay, 60 minutes have passed. Our mash is over. Time to take these guys out, turn our heat to maximum power, and start sparging. You have seen me doing this a couple of times now. It's just a matter of being patient and let this boiling water to take out as much of the goodness as possible from these grains. So far, the wort is looking really good. It's very pale. I'll try to keep that during the boil as well. It smells really good. One thing that I've noticed that both Golden Promise and Munich malt have in common is that both of them smell like chamomile. It's not a deep smell to chamomile, it's more of a sweet aroma to chamomile, and I find it really pleasant, even if that aroma is not present in the beer finally, or at least in the beers that I have brewed using Munich. So, and I'll be back once we have a running boil for the hop additions. Cheers! Alright, so we got the running boil that we needed. It's time to add our bittering hops. That's 3 grams of Pacific Jade. The smell is really interesting, and I'll be back 30 minutes before the end of the boil. This is gonna be a very simple brew, but it's gonna be a tasty one. By the way, I forgot to mention that these hops have a very high percentage of alpha acids. It's 15.6. It's, well, twice or 3 times the amount of alpha acids that you could find in other varieties of hops. And I noticed when I was taking them out of the pocket that they were really resinous. They were sticking in my hands. So that's an interesting fact of these hops. See you in a few. Cheers! Okay, last 30 minutes of the boil. Time to add 2 grams of Pacific Jade. And as you can see, I went for another young speckled hen. It's actually going down really well. And since it's not really high in alcohol, it's 3 point something. It's a very pleasant and refreshing beer. So I'll be back in the last 10 minutes of the boil. Cheers! And here we are in the last 10 minutes of the boil. Time to add our brewing sugar. Let me stir this well. Alright, and a quarter of a tablet of protafloc, and in it goes. We are approaching the end of this one, and I'll be back for the last 5 minutes. Alright, last 5 minutes of the boil. Time to add our 3 grams of Pacific Jade. In they go. And it's almost over now. Alright. I'll be back when the boil is over. Cheers! And it's time to turn it off. And cool it down. And here we are. It'll be a matter of minutes only. And I'll be back once it's done. Cheers! Okay, so less than 5 minutes, and as usual we have our wort in the temperature that we need. Now let's strain those hops out. And here we go. Well, for those who debate what's better, whether pellets or whole leaf hops, at least for this phase of straining out the hops, clearly these ones are better. So we're ready now to transfer it to the fermenter and take a gravity reading. And here we have it already in the fermenter, and also here's a pic of that gravity reading. It's 1054, so it is almost sure that it will be above 5% ABV. Time to pitch our yeast. Okay, so here we have our yeast. This is half of this packet, which is 11 grams. So here we have 5.5. Also, one thing I did but I forgot to record is I shaked this wort as usual for 2, probably 3 minutes. And that's it. The last thing we're gonna add is this, the yeast nutrient. It says that we should add a tablespoon per gallon, but I'm only gonna add half of a teaspoon because to be really honest, I'm not sure about this because it's the first time I'm using it. Normally I would like to avoid adding things to the beer and make it as natural as possible, but apparently this is actually very natural. It's got mainly minerals. So in any case, I'll add just half of the dose they recommend. And that's it. Time to put a lid on which I have drilled a hole. And here we have our airlock. And this is officially done. So I'll see you tomorrow and we'll tell you how things are going. Cheers! Hey, so here we are next day. Good morning! Last night was the perfect homebrew night. Today is the perfect barbecue day. Let me give you a quick update on how things are going. As you can see, I've placed our smash next to her sister, the double IPA, and it's bubbling very nicely. To be completely honest, I haven't found any difference with the addition of the yeast nutrient. It's been bubbling in a very stable way, just as I was expecting, basically. Probably I'll notice something in the following days when normally fermentation begins to slow down. But as I said, no difference. It's all looking really good, as you can see. The smell is really good. Contrary to what I've read in the description of this variety, I don't smell any lemon zest. I do smell some citrus notes here and there. It's all very fruity. That is what I truly smell, some rich fruitiness. Probably that is going to evolve and probably those lemon zest flavors and aromas will be developed at a later stage. Color-wise, as you can see, it's very pale. I think we're gonna get that golden ale I was looking for. Fingers crossed! Changing subjects, I got some quick news for you with regards to our double IPA. This is day 8 since we brewed it, and fermentation is coming to an end. So I decided to add those dry hops. I made a short video, and I will include that video in the taste test of that beer. Really looking forward to that. Coffee break. End of the coffee break. For next week, we have a partial extract. It is, of course, not a normal partial extract because we will add a twist as usual. This is something that I've seen other brewers and home brewers do, but I haven't tried it. To give you a wee clue, it's something that we're going to add to our wort, and it's going to contribute to the flavor and the aroma of the beer. If you want to have more clues, please visit my Instagram on Friday. That's the day when I brew. And I normally post some pre-brew and brewing pics that will give you a clearer idea of what you'll see in the episode to be published next Wednesday. So that's 5 days in advance. So this is it for the time being. I really hope you find this video useful and had some fun just as much as I did. If you like what you see, like and don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, thanks for watching. Cheers on beers!